Hello everyone, welcome to the channel today. So today we're going to be doing a reading in regards to your life path. So this may have a message for something you're going through now, or maybe how to get to where you want to be. So we're going to pick 4 cards, as always. Pile 1. It's a little bit dark here today, so if the cards look a bit darker, that's just why. We'll go for this one. Okay, so let's have a look at each pile. So for pile number 1, you have Amber with Harmony, Home Protection, Calm and Attracts Love. For pile number 2, you have Pyrite with Good Change of Fortune, Success, Renewed Focus and Leadership. For pile number 3, you have the red Jasper with Nurture, Determination, Relaxing and Tranquility. Okay, and lastly for pile number 4, you have Selenite with Psychic Insight, Blessings, Fidelity and Deep Connection. Alright, so these are going to be your 4 piles for today. After this, what I'll do is I'll go straight into the shuffling process, or you can go down below and see the timestamps to go straight to your pile. So I'll leave you to contemplate which pile is calling to you, and I'll see you in your reading. Hello everyone, welcome back to the shuffling portion of the video. Okay, so this is going to be... My intention really for this is to maybe talk about your life path, and if you're on track, not judging, more like trying to find out if you can do anything to start heading towards what's going to bring you fulfillment on your life's journey. That's really where this is coming from. So it's not saying, like, if the cards come through and they're like, I'm not doing that, doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It just might mean a slight adjustment, or having a look at, are you in a position or a spot that actually brings you fulfillment and happiness and joy and, you know, love into your life, or whatever you're looking for, because everyone's going through different things. Okay, so message regarding your life path. And I think it's quite a good thing to start talking about life path, because we get caught up in the details of other things that sometimes don't even relate to us, like worrying about AI or what's happening in a different country. Of course, it's good to be aware, but not to dive into and make that your reality when it's not actually around you. It's not actually in your environment. It's not actually your present moment. It's just worry and fears of something else. Okay. This one, I'm gonna take that one too, and this one. I'm actually excited about this one. This one is, it's feeling like it might have some kind of deep messages. Because our life path is always very mixed individually, but there's always certain things that we all go through, right? We all went through COVID, and how people handled it depended on their current situations. It made them understand their relationships, why they needed to go in, or just got used to a routine of going into work instead of working from home and having a better work-life balance. So many things. And some companies are trying to reverse that and get it back to the way it was. But once people go through a big change, going back is much harder, and I think it's a time to question many things about ourselves and about our world. Okay. Doing that one. And take that one as well. Oh, that one's that way. I also can kind of feel a shift in regards to readings too. While it's great that there's more and more readers, I think there's going to be I feel like there's going to be some kind of shift with regards to even some of the readings that people will be watching moving forward. I think they're going to be shifting away from, the viewers are going to be shifting away from certain types of reads or certain kind of readers, and that's absolutely fine. You have to go with what resonates. And I also feel like while that's happening, some of the readers are also going to be starting to shift towards other things. I don't know how or what that looks like yet, and it will be slow because ideas and changes take time. But I think there's going to be some more pioneers in regards to readings. I don't know how they're going to be reading it. I don't know if they're going to add more elements or old elements or what. But I think things are going to start shifting. It's going to be a little bit more varied, let's say. Okay. This one. I mean, who really knows? There's always going to be traditionalists and that kind of thing, people that like their reader like this, like that. I just think when we're all growing and changing and shifting quite quickly, as not just as a collective but as individuals as well, we'll drop certain things and then pick them up maybe later, and then that's absolutely fine. There's no particular path that needs to be stuck to and set forever, right? That's very old school, and that's what generally used to happen, back when you could even go to the 50s with people that would just stick with one thing no matter what. Or even if you go further back in courtesans and kings, queens, all that kind of stuff, there was a caste system, and nobles had a very set thing. and serfs, or like all the way down at the bottom being kind of like property. I don't think it's going to go back to that kind of thing, but that kind of set way, those set ways back then took a long time to change, and now we're moving so quickly that, well, one day this might be what people head towards. There's always something else. And I think that's growing and developing in a positive way in some senses regarding reading, spirituality, divination, that kind of stuff. So I guess I'll say, and I'll follow through with whatever I get personally and what feels right to me, and what feels right to the collective. So whether that's types of readings, or if I stop reading and start doing something different with this channel, we'll see. I'm not afraid to mix it up. I don't want to get pigeonholed and boxed into something, because I see that all the time with people. If they start to act a little wild, let's say, in a video game or something like that, and then that becomes what they're known for, they can kind of get pigeonholed, or anything really, anything in life. And it's like, oh, you act kind of like a smart mouth in the game, so you're kind of expected to keep doing that, whether that's the true you or not. So I always kind of move with whatever feels right, whatever I'm called to do, even if it's once a week with these readings or the readings I do on Twitch, whatever changes and shifts. Okay, so thank you for listening to my ramblings, but these are your piles again. As I said before, down below you'll see your timestamps to go straight to the video, whichever one calls to you. Remember, this is about your life path, so take what resonates with this, take what will help you either shift yourself towards your goals or start to motivate you to work towards them, or whatever it is, help you get out of any tough situations. This message is always here to assist, and only to assist you. But anyway, thank you very much for being here, and I'll see you in your reading. Hello, pile number one. Welcome to your reading today. So just a reminder about your life path reading. You've chosen Amber with harmony, home protection, calm, and attracts love. It's always really interesting now that I just think about it. It kind of reminds me of lava, but it's like, I guess the blood of the trees. So it's like their soul essence. So this may be about something very core and true to you on the inside. Won't go too far into it yet. I'll make sure I get the cards out. So here are your tarot, and we'll start with your oracle cards. So your first two, you've got Scorpio and Jupiter. Jupiter with the message of optimism, growth, and opportunity, and Scorpio with deep, intense, and transformative. Interesting. It's really... Okay, the first thing that I got when I picked up this from just the start of the reading for you, pile number one, was like a shift to bring more peace and calm. It's like that's what you want, but I don't know if it's you or the people around you, it's always so chaotic, or like there's something that always is like a beehive, it's kind of like busy, but there's always something kind of like there that's, I don't know if it's toxic, or if it's just like there's a need to, or struggling has been the only way to like get results, right? So pushing and tension and struggle has been how you've got through life, or people around you have got through life, or how you've been taught. And there's something that can shift now. There's like literally an opportunity and a transformation. It's deep and intense. It goes deep because it's like understanding, unlearning something. That feels like where you're at the moment, is trying to unlearn an old habit that is so ingrained. Okay. Deep, very deep already. But it's like a desire to bring calm and harmony and peace in your life, but not knowing how, maybe. Right, I'm going to read from the book with this one. So number 19 in the Dimensions of Light. This is your mandala. This is really pretty. I don't know if I've pulled this one before. Very cool. I like the rainbow swirls. So number 19. Look straight to it. Right, it's got light in the darkness. And that feels very true, like what I said. Like the example that I used of trying to bring calm, but having a set way of just an old learning of struggle or tension or like fight almost being part of the way to move forward and trying to learn a new way. This feels like that it's not impossible. It doesn't matter how old or how ingrained this thing is in you. Your soul has lived much longer than this life. So anything you've learned in this life doesn't mean that the soul has to keep it forever or even in this incarnation. This is something that is within your capability and definitely an opportunity to shift whatever this is and however this looks for you. But anywho, I'll read the message in the book. So it says in here, in its holistic wisdom, the soul will, at times, move through the darker side of life to experience loss, suffering, and pain. Choosing to believe there is a higher purpose behind that suffering can enhance your ability to accept and move through such experiences more swiftly, gaining wisdom through the process. Our soul pearl is formed in deep challenges, and that really touches on Scorpio here. This pearl is beyond price, grown through struggle, rare and hard won. Again, I can't make this up. It's like really touching on that struggle. You know, when we go through a challenging situation or time, people kind of feel like, oh, that makes or breaks you. Not necessarily. It doesn't always break, but it can open up something within us that we hadn't felt in a long time, or that we need to shift away from or towards. You know, it just opens up some kind of, it's like an enlightenment, you know, it's like an understanding. And maybe you're on this kind of enlightenment path now, going through maybe the darkest shadow side, or even just realizing, you know, 'cause sometimes we just live like day by day by day, but not actually paying attention to our home, what brings peace, what we're doing, really. It's like, where am I? What am I doing? That kind of energy. All right, it says here, this oracle, hi. This oracle asks you to recognize that something worthy and extraordinary develops within your soul as you move through your life. Do not give in to despair. Honor your suffering as a way to learn about yourself. But do not believe it is reflective of the bigger picture, nor deciding factor in your ultimate happiness. Though you may not quite see or feel it at this moment, something very precious is happening within your heart. Hold tight. You will emerge from this victorious on so many levels. Really nice. And it's very true. I'm sure you can look back on some of the harsher things and look back on that and see how much you grew from that. Maybe it wasn't a great situation to go through, but regardless, learning was there. Learning is there. Okay. All right, so you've also got the carnelian here. It says embrace your passions, so definitely turning some of that energy into something that you can utilize, right? It's like if there's oil or something, this is a really bad analogy, but it's just coming to my head. Like if there's oil outside and you can, let's say we could just dig it up and use it. Back in the day, what would that have done? It would have been just like useless, right? Before we had combustible engines and that kind of thing. But you can utilize that into something useful. Again, not a great idea, like example, but for some reason that just popped in my head. For some reason, oil. But anyway, it says here, be kindling to your body's fire. So this is about sparking up something that reminds you of your purpose, and something that reminds me of something deep inside. I think the oil thing was talking about like deep inside, like ancient or old kind of dreams, wishes, hopes, that kind of thing, reigniting that fire. Okay, so you've also got the divine matrix talking about interconnection, synchronicity and coincidences. And I think it's really talking about, you know, how people talk about, oh, that's a coincidence, but like a lucky coincidence or good thing or something like that. It's also like you can start looking at the synchronicities, not visualizing them, but actually seeing them in your life. It's like, oh, that was a coincidence. That was a coincidence. But what did that actually mean? Like, was it a coincidence, or was it like you led to a particular thing or path or like flyer or map or something like that? And it's like, oh, I should do that. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I did also want to start doing XYZ. I did want to get this, purchase this because it'll help with something that's true to my core. But I like this for you because I think you're getting messages from source, your ancestors, loved ones, guides, whatever you want to call it, the universe, to pay attention to these because there's a deeper meaning in there, not for you to figure out, but maybe for you to just explore and have a look. Nice, you have Daffodil Fairy with New Beginnings. Yeah, I think this is something that you've kind of wanted, but maybe not believed was possible. And if anything to take away from today is, regardless of all the, you know, the heavy stuff and change, like people love sometimes they talk about transformation, they really want it, they want the like death card and the change. But then when it starts happening, it's like, I'm so used to what I was doing. And this is really saying, yeah, this is you know, there's a purpose to this, and it's to bring what you're actually looking for and what you actually want. And then ask yourself, how do I want this to come through? What do I really need in my life? You know, that kind of thing. It's really thinking about what's at the core of who you are that you want to bring to the forefront of your current life right now, current time in your life right now. Oh, okay. So you got the Four of Swords. I like this because it's definitely touching on like giving yourself some time to understand parts of who you are. You don't have to understand the whole. It's like, you know, when we wake up or whatever, however we are, we come into learning and we see the whole world. We don't have to understand everything and how it all works, right? But we want to understand aspects of ourselves. So give yourself some time to consider this, think about it. He's kind of like in a little, I guess, burrow, the little hedgehog. He's just recovering. He's either recovering, right, because this is after the Three of Swords, which is quite heavy, or he's just needing some kind of R&R, some space to breathe. Okay, yeah. It's touching on it again, the Hanged Man. Give yourself time with this. There's no rush, even if you are getting signs, right? They're just reminders that you're not alone, you're supported, you're loved and cared for, and you're not being judged for whatever you decide to do from here. So very cool. These two are patient cards, waiting cards for improvement or betterment of self and your environment and the people you care for and love as well. Very interesting. You also have the Five of Pentacles. See, this talks about negative thoughts manifesting into real challenges, fears surrounding money, reach out to others for assistance, poor timing, becoming self-employed. I will say this, the negative thoughts manifesting into real challenges, that is really true because it's feeling neglected or left out. And if that's true, then maybe this environment is not right for you. Or these people are not supportive of you and your goals, dreams, or who you are at a soul level. Talking about Three of Swords, and then we've got the Three of Swords. It says here, great sadness that will heal with time, let go of the past, personal growth that comes from challenges, healing misunderstandings, being there for those in need. I will say let go of the past really does tie in here, talking about the shift in challenges. Now, letting go of the past doesn't mean you just ignore that what actually happened or how it actually felt. Letting go of the past is feeling into it and understanding the benefits of it, but also reminding yourself that this is no longer your reality. This is an ex or a childhood trauma or something that's happened in the past that is no longer your future. Your present. Your present's your present. What's true right now. There could be something from the past that's still in your future, but it won't be exactly the situation, the event, whatever was then, unless, you know, it's something that's ongoing, right? But really where it's talking about is to focus on now at a I guess base level, and starting to recognize or shift what you want to do and where you want to go with that and how you want that to look, because this is you can always, I don't want to say reinvent because it sounds kind of like dismantling and starting all over again, because you never really truly start all over again. You always take with you what you've learned, good, bad, ugly, whatever. You take it all, or you don't take it all, but you'll have it with you, the learnings from it. And sometimes you do take the heavy stuff with you, but it's really touching on releasing that, healing with that, going through whatever struggles, challenges you need to process, really, which is why it's deep and intense with Scorpio coming through. It's deep and intense, but it's for this transformation into whatever you want your future to be, and start living as if it is your present by, you know, starting to take the first step. But you're fully supported in this journey. I want to say, sometimes we think if we're going through hardship that we're not on the right path, but maybe we needed to do that to kick us in the butt onto the right channel, the right highway of life, let's say. And I think that's where the divine matrix is coming through. It's really saying that this isn't, you're not like a victim or anything in this, you are co-creating it. So now let's co-create it by putting in the things that you actually want to experience in life, not just what's being like, I guess, like a puppet and things are just happening to you. This is starting to take ownership and control in a self-empowering way, not in a controlling way, but taking back control in a way that you can start deciding what's right for you and where you want to head to. Very interesting. So super deep, I want to say that. Obviously very different for each individual person. This might pick up on some things, this might not pick up on everything, but it might also be for some like a very deep thing that it's time to start shifting. You're very supported though. I just want us to keep saying that because you are supported with this. This is not something that you might think about starting to do that's going to derail you. It's more like it's going to improve and grow and help you and bring you that new start or that change that you want to see. I really hope this has made sense today. It really does touch on, you know, from the darkness there's light, through challenge there's growth, through challenge there's knowledge and wisdom. It's like a whole bunch of gain from difficulties, challenges, trauma. Like there's still things to be, I wouldn't say grateful, but I guess in some sense there is something to be grateful that you're still here and still able to push forward and move to where you need to be in life. But what a really interesting life message for you, pile number 1 today. So we're starting off very deep with these messages today. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them into the comment section. Like if you've liked this video, but otherwise I'll leave you there. Please take care of yourself. Good luck with this and growing from this and moving through this. Maybe you already have started. Congratulations. But I'll leave it there and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading today. So this is your life path reading. And today you have chosen Pyrite with good change of fortune, success, renewed focus, and leadership. So it does sound like a bit of shifting and changing, or even redirecting some energy into something that gives your soul more purpose, let's say. We'll see how that comes through because it is just one card out of many. Okay. So your first card is conjunction with integration, synergy, and unity. This is now coming through really quickly. And I just want to say it before I forget it. But it does feel like aligning with, let's say, your soul purpose or your higher self, like your higher and lower or higher and human, kind of getting on track getting on track together, like, your ideas also with, your higher self's ideas, because you're the one living here, and, technically so are they, but this is, you feel what you feel here, and they're kind of like separate but not. It's really hard to kind of explain, but it feels like aligning with your soul goals and things that you want to accomplish in life too, or things you want to add to that, like little additions. Really interesting. We'll see how this comes through. So we've got Venus with beauty, artistry, and love. I think it's definitely starting to. I think whatever this is about, it's starting to align with you at a soul level anyway. You're not consciously thinking about, okay, what does my soul want? What does my higher self want? You're already starting to feel what you want as like a, let's say, collective, or as an extension of all or one, etc., etc. Maybe starting to blend pleasure or hobbies with, not necessarily with work, maybe changing something in work. I'm not sure how it's coming through exactly, but it's like, yes, that sums for this person, that, this. It's really funny doing collective, because it depends on you individually, but it's adding some richness and variety into life, shifting from the mundane of like work, what is it? Wake up, work, go home, eat, sleep, kind of, just like it's breaking out of a cycle to add more richness in, which this feels like something very pleasurable and awe-inspiring and just fulfilling. It feels like heart fulfilling, like heart chakra, heart fulfilling, that kind of thing. Okay, really interesting. So we've got card 40. So this is your mandala, really pretty. I like the dark blue. Of course, I'd like blue. With this kind of like it's almost like a petal, but it's more pointy. Okay. So let's take a look at card 40. I'll read from the book. So this one, the title is Sense of the Subtle. It says, have you ever sensed something about a situation only to talk yourself out of what you felt, and then later find out some piece of information that confirms your initial intuition? The sense of the subtle can be startlingly accurate and helpful, and too easy to dismiss. This oracle brings you two messages. Firstly, there are signs of subtle but significant growth happening within your soul. Continue to commit to your spiritual healing journey. In time, you will sense these changes within, and in due course, they will bear luscious fruits of transformation on many levels. Secondly, tune in and pay heed to your spiritual insights. Something you perceive seems like a mere flicker, but will in time burn bright with blazing clarity. Trust your intuition. I like this. This is kind of, I guess, that's why I was like, this feels like you aligning with your higher self or soul more, I don't know how to say it more of, but just being, I guess, more aligned with your soul and your higher self, or both, or one, or however you want to perceive it. It's very much in alignment regardless. And maybe even feeling that. Okay. Am I missing a card? Oh, yeah, here we go. I was like, I'm sure I'm missing a card. It just left it there. Okay. So you've got the Raven Spirit with truth. Really nice truth. Living your truth. Speaking your truth. Being authentically true to you. And for some people, that takes time, right? Because they want to, we're kind of taught to fit in and live our lives in a very specific way. So sometimes it's hard to be authentic or to know what that is. And I think you're definitely aligning with your authentic self, which is why good fortune is, like, good change is coming, or fortunate change is coming up. Success, feeling renewed focus, like feeling more it's like you already know what's right for you and where you're going and where you're headed towards, without actually really knowing where that came from or how that came through, because that subtle intuition, it's like trusting those messages. Really interesting. Okay, so you've got the acupressure mat. The message here is know this shall too pass. This too shall pass, sorry. It says quieten the body, calm the mind. This is kind of like a moment of peace or rest. I think some of the uncertainty is also bringing in a whole bunch of other information. You might be really tuned into your senses, let's say, or starting to really pick up on many things. Let them settle and let them process, because you don't want to assume something and then jump onto all these other things and start going off in a wild direction. Just if something comes in and you've got one little click of what it's about, let the rest sink in and give it some space and time. Maybe even write what you're thinking down now, because at least you've got a record or a journal of it. I think journaling for some reason is really like a good idea. It can be just stuff that's in your head. It doesn't have to be what's really happening in your reality. You can either or do that, or both, or whatever you really want. But I think how you're feeling and what's rolling around in your head might be good to just write it down so you can visually see it as well and just let it be. Ooh, okay, interesting. You've got Orion activation, which is supernova, recreation, renewal, and rebirth by light. I think this is why it's feeling like some kind of that's what I was like at the start, aligned with your purpose, or with your, I mean, we're talking about life path, right? So I think you'll start to shift from the old into where you were supposed to go, let's say, but you went about it in a different, not in a different way, but in your own way, because that other path had many different learnings. Instead of getting here, let's say, earlier in life, and you might think, oh, I wish I got here earlier, but you wouldn't have had all the stuff you learned to get there earlier. So this is like correct timing, divine timing, whatever you want to say. Rebirth by light, so it's like understanding. I feel like it's like almost like an awakening kind of card. Things starting to click in, and you know, there's not just one awakening in life. We always have many different ones. Some of them are caused by hormones and things like that. When we're teenagers, we go from children to teenagers. There's a huge shift. Teenage to adult, there's a huge shift as well, like understanding the real world, let's say, quote unquote real world. This rebirth by light feels like, you know, this is maybe not exactly like that, but in a different sense, it's like a mind shift, or you might not even recognize who you were, because supernovas are huge. They're the explosion of stars. So something like, you know, a light bulb going off, or like an explosion of the ideas and thoughts and things like that, which I feel like is why the acupressure mat's coming out. It's like, just chill with it. Don't you don't have to run off with it, but once you know, of course, go forward with what you want, but let things settle, write things down, and just let them be and see how they come through and if it makes sense. Right, so you've got 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, it's definitely a good time. And again, this kind of like idea of awakening, it feels like, you know, the bear's hibernating, and you can see like a bird coming out. So it's the idea that spring's coming. So you're starting to wake up out of this. It just keeps coming through. It feels like, I guess, some kind of awakening into pure, true love, I guess, energy. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is part of the challenge, I believe. So you've got the 2 of Wands, and it's like you can see here, and even he's kind of like black and white, and she's kind of looking out for what she could do. But it also is like a sign of, what do I want? Like, you know, this is my routine, go catch with the other lionesses, you know, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's a bit different for animals, but as people, we sometimes get stuck in routine. And I think it's like, I don't resonate with this work. I don't resonate with these people or this person. Where do I go from here? How do I find that? And I think that your intuition will start to fire up and tell you or guide you into different areas where you can start to explore and look into. Okay. Yep, looks like it's interesting because it's like once you know, you're gonna go for it. Like go towards that. It says sometimes it does say too much going on, and I think that's why this rest is important. I don't know if you will do that, if you will rush off into anything. If you do, don't worry about it. Be fine. Just take heed of the notion of living your truth, because that's true success. Like being authentically you and honest and 100% honest with yourself and others will just you'll feel the success and fulfilled, and you'll think, oh, I thought a $1 million house or a nice car was going to do that. No, it starts within. It says here stress caused by too many positive opportunities, which is fair, right? It's like overload of good stuff. Unexpected events or rapid changes, the ability to multitask, business travel. Maybe something's coming up for you. I think once you know, go. That's the kind of thing. Like once you wake up or decide, like they're very clearly like, the Nine of Pentacles is interesting because it's like opulence, it's like fancy, but also starting to come into an awareness and start to like purchase, buy, look after yourself in a different manner, starting to just shift and change. And you also have the Queen of Water. This says loving, compassionate, psychic, self-sacrificing, deep psychic insights. Yeah, you've got the intuition one now with psychic, with the Queen of Water. Maybe you are starting to tap into your own like innate abilities, which we kind of get ignored to because if we can't physically see it, sometimes we just feel like, well, then it's not there, it's not real, it doesn't matter. But some of the subtle things can bring a lot of happiness. It's like you can just trudge off to work and drive to work and get out of the car and walk for 15 minutes to your job. But there's also like, I guess, a rainbow in the sky, the sun is beating down on your skin, just feeling into the world, which sounds really woo-woo, but it's like you are part of the world. You're literally here. We're literally talking through, waves or whatever, electricity and internet, that kind of thing. Energy, it's all true and there within us and around us. So sometimes taking what is the saying, stopping and smelling the roses or whatever is definitely a true thing in this moment. I think that's where this comes in again. But anywho, also has caring for others but forgetting to take care of yourself. Make sure you do. Trust your intuition. Deep love of family and friends. Follow your heart. And I like that they're both here, this love, heart kind of beauty, artistry, like creative self coming through, and the right next to truth as well. Some sort of shift is occurring. I guess you've either been through it or can understand this. This might have happened like a year ago or something, and you're like, yes, yes, yes. And it's just a reminder that you can keep going with what you're doing. Just make sure you are taking a step back to like pat yourself on the back too, 100% for what you've been through and also how you've handled it, and whether it was good, bad, maybe handled in a bad way, right? Or not in the way that you would handle it now. Doesn't matter, it's all learning. So still pat yourself on the back for where you've got to and who you are and how you're living your life now, because that's what's most important in this reading. Pile number 2 is living authentically, living in a way that works towards fulfillment, like your own personal fulfillment. And obviously also helping others in some sense. I feel like after this, all these shifts, there's more and more help that you'll be providing for people. I don't know how, but that's going to be up to you and how you integrate those shifts and changes. But it does feel really good in a sense. And I think you're going to be feeling it and enjoying it a lot more than maybe some of the other stuff that's occurred that you thought would have. But it doesn't matter as long as you're living your truth in the now. That's what's most important. Okay, really lovely reading for you, pile number two. Really interesting one too. Obviously, when it comes to these kind of messages, I have no idea what's going to come through because it's a very open thing when we're talking about life path. But this feels fantastic. This feels great. This is either coming up in your life now or maybe in the past, but just a reminder of like, congratulate yourself. Give yourself the, applause, the clap, whatever. Not the clap, but applause for what you've gone through and where you are and what you're doing with your life now. Anyway, I'll leave you there. Thank you very much for being here. Hopefully you've enjoyed. But take care of yourself and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, part number 3. Welcome to your reading today. Alright, so you've chosen the red Jasper. Now remember, this is about your life's journey, life path. It also has a message of nurture, determination, relaxing, and tranquility. Interesting. Also, really does touch into like the root chakra, like our foundations, our core beliefs, or like, our survival, our animalistic kind of instincts and stuff like that. So we'll see how this reading goes. Okay. Oop, can't take these out. So your first card is Equinox with commitment, integration, and shifts. This may take a little bit if you were drawn to pile number 2 as well. I think this is going to take a similar path, but in a different way. But with the shifts and integrations and commitments, I think this is talking to some of the shifts you're either wanting to make or some of the shifts that are changing. I think it's going to be a tricky one, what you do, because there's so many things and people and other things involved in this and judgment and feelings. So this is an interesting time in your path, or maybe this was a past thing, but it's still relevant. The energy of it is still relevant in your current life, by either not actually being in your life, but you thinking about it, or vice versa, right? See how this goes. You've also got Earth, which is pragmatic, grounded, and enduring. Really hard to shift, like Earth, right? Massive earthquakes have to happen. The Earth doesn't really shift a lot, like the tectonic plates don't move a huge amount. So it takes a lot of time. I would be patient with yourself, look after yourself if you are wanting to make some shifts and changes in your life. Sorry, my eye is like twitching a bit. Okay, take off my glasses. That was weird. Anyway, so you got card 20. I'll have a read of this. Ooh, really pretty mandala. I like this one. It's got like a, I don't know, like a whoop whoop. Whoop whoop in the middle. So let's have a look. I did say 20, didn't I? Yep. So I'm going to read from the book for this one. So number 20 is talking about the unscripted journey. I love that when we're talking about a life path. The unscripted journey. So this is taking, it's definitely like writing your own path from here in a sense. Like it's kind of like, let's say we all have kind of like a path, right? And you've got to a path and it's like here, this section right now is up to how you decide whether you go this way, this way, this way, multiple ways. But it's like, this is not determined yet. It depends on how you decide and which path you take. The highest, lowest, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's more for wherever you want to go and what's right for you in this moment. That's why I was like, this is going to be a bit tricky. Either something's coming through or something's happened or something's happening now. It feels very like nowish, soonish, like, that may take some time, but it's the seeds are already sowed. So it's like, where do we go from here? How do you proceed from here? Interesting. Okay, so I'll read the book finally. It says, the path you now tread is a delicious confluence of divine destiny and unscripted, spontaneous life. To embrace this journey, remember that change can bring blessings. You may be surprised at how much you can now leave behind without feeling concerned or anxious. You may be able to travel lighter than you ever imagined. Just as the butterfly leaves the chrysalis behind when it is time to spread its newly formed wings, so too shall you be ready to discard what you once held within. Yeah, it's going to take some time to shift, and that's okay, because you've learned how to endure, right? You're a resilient person, clearly. Pragmatic, for sure. Logical, in many senses. Sometimes we can be super spiritual but very logical. It's really interesting. Comes through very strangely, not strangely, but just very uniquely, but still very set when we set out to not have things set. So it's starting to shift some stuff. It'll be fine. It's not, I don't think it's going to be too drawn out or anything like that. I think that's up to you and your situation, and also you as an individual, because this is open for everyone that watches this on pile number 3. But I will continue reading this. So it says here, the past has served purpose. You can feel good about what has been and about where you are heading. This oracle brings confirmation of a significant change taking place in your life, according to the inner timing and awakening of the soul. Trust in natural timing of your emergence. Okay. So, seeds are planted. I think the universe in the path, like, destiny, let's say, has already planted the seeds, but with destiny, it doesn't mean you take exactly what comes to you. You kind of shift and change it depending on how you want to proceed with your life from here onward. And it'll shift naturally as well, like in a natural sense. But that takes still your own personal determination and the way you want to go forward with it, however that is. Okay. You also have Palo Santo, which is purify your space. What does this say? It says awaken your senses. So this is about opening up. Like, it also talks about purifying, of course. And I think this is settling your ideas and mindset. Just calming. It feels like calming the mindset, clearing the energy. However you do that, walking in nature, grounding, literally here, grounding, and right next to this, there's purpose in this, even though sometimes it might seem a bit weird or off. There's purpose in meditation. There's purpose in grounding and getting in touch with nature. It's not always just to, our society is so built on, like, time is money kind of thing. And in some sense that is true. And how do you get wealth? By giving back to yourself and being in touch with nature, that kind of thing. That's also part of it. Right, so you've got Anunnaki light codes. I think light codes are very popular at the moment, talking about them. But we've got energetic shift, new information, end of cycle. Yeah, I think this is an end. Something's ending for sure. That's why I was like, this determination is something tricky. It's because it's ending. And whether it's good, bad, or not, regardless, endings always are kind of like scary, but also exciting. Like, there's that, you finish a job that you didn't like. There's some parts of it's like, thank goodness for that. And some is like scary because now what do you do? What's the plan? And you've got the owl spirit with wisdom. Yeah, you've learnt many things over time. The earth is also really feels like a beacon of knowledge as well for how long it's been alive or around, if you want to say it like that, in the cosmos. There's a lot of energy and learning and vibration, even though it's like dense in this reality, it's still a vibration. There's still learning and knowledge there. And I think the reason why I'm bringing that up is because there's a lot of knowledge and learning within you as your soul journey. But I think this is just like a helpful, hey, if you need space and time, cleanse, meditate, whatever that is, however that is for you. Right next to end of cycles, this is something shifting from the next phase. Much brighter, much better, but you still have to get through the currents and the choppy water to get to the next spot, the next place of, I guess, the new beginning, new freedom. 6 of Swords here. And again, it's a turtle, so it's slower, right? Generally, they're pretty quick in the water, though, I'll say that. But anyway, it's like at a timely pace, in a pace that's good to you. that, you know, you've got the intelligence to know what's right for you. So go with that. Oh, okay, judgment. I like this because you can see here, even the bird's like, whoa. Like you might be like, whoa, and people around you, whoa, the shift and change within you. It's really, this is a great time. It's tricky because you have to like, you know, the snake has to brush up against thorns, go through choppy water to get to where they need to be. But it's well worth it. It's better than staying stuck in your old skin. Or feeling stuck, right? Okay. You also have the Ten of Pentacles. Archangel Jophiel coming through as well. So financial security for yourself and family, inheritance or retirement, peace and commitment in life, honoring family traditions, pride in family tree, and passing on knowledge. I like passing on knowledge right next to wisdom. It's like it's whatever's occurring or coming up is really important to what you learn and what you exude and how you show the people around you who you are. Interesting. And Jophiel coming through again. Okay, Archangel Jophiel really powerful in this, in your particular reading, pile 3. She is the... It's interesting because in some parts she comes up as the Archangel of Beauty, and people will think that is like, you know, changing physical, but beauty is inner beauty, 100%, 99% of it, and the 1% outside for sure. But it's also seeing things, seeing the beauty and the challenges, silver linings and the horrors that we go through or challenges we go through. But also stopping and seeing the beauty of the successes and the blessings and the support and the crushes and the first loves and things like that. You know, so many things. She's definitely all about that. But here, be proud of yourself is really shining out. Be proud of who you are and your changes you're making and the things you're going to go through in this life, this cycle of life, and the learnings you'll be gaining. Take your time with it. Support yourself. Get support from others if needed, and also support others as well along the way. Sometimes for myself, if I ever feel like I'm starting to get snappy or snippy, I pull myself out of that situation or remove myself and just take a breath. Because clearly I'm overwhelmed. It's not like that's my default, is like being snippy or an ass. But if I start notice I'm doing that, that's when I need to, like, you know, excuse myself. Pretend I'm going to the bathroom or something, just take a breath. Get a glass of water, make a drink, whatever. But very cool. Does look like an end of a cycle with the world, because the world is the end of a cycle and it's the end of understanding. And it's also right under judgment, which is right before that. Different decks, but, you know, same flow. This is the end of the Pentacles too. It's definitely a shift for sure, coming to an end of something. Whatever that is, you'll know what it is because it's your life. And it's like starting afresh. This is like cleansing. This end is cleansing for sure. Really, really interesting. I think it's going to bring in the days where you can give yourself more time to look after yourself and others, and also more peaceful, like with relaxing, more calm time. Something else here too. I think there's going to be a different mindset on life and money, nature and money and things like that. Time, energy, money becoming like maybe starting to shift in your life, how you view it. Because while we all want more money, right? How do we get there? We can make huge amounts of money, but some people will spend like 50, 60 hours a week trying to get there. And there always has to be a sacrifice, and that can be time spent with family, time working on yourself, self-care, that kind of thing, many other things. And how you want to do that is completely up to you, but it takes a shift and resilience, determination, literally determination. So very interesting area to be in your life path. Does feel like really good, like lots of change. Potential for it, again, coming back to here, it does feel like there's a gap, right, of how you write this. So I would suggest, going by these cards, go with not just your intuition, but give yourself some time and think about what's really true and core to you. Maybe even like tapping into your inner child, because your inner child has like very specific things they really wanted to do in life, right? They were like, I want to be this, I want to do that. Maybe those kind of things, whether you want to do them or not, writing them down and seeing, why would I want to do this? Why would I want to be a nurse? Oh, because they help people. I can help people by doing blah, blah, blah. Why did I want to be a firefighter? Because I wanted to like be strong for other people and help people. You know, whatever it is. Sometimes the inner child is like the smartest person in the room, or smartest self of our own like multiple selves. Anyway, really nice messages. Hopefully they have helped on your life path and help you move forward with whatever you're going through. But thank you very much for being here today. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, part number 4. Welcome to your reading today. So you've chosen Selenite with the messages Psychic Insight, Blessings, Fidelity, and Deep Connection. Alright, so interesting one to pick is kind of like the more, I guess, spiritual kind of energy from the 4 piles. So we'll see how this relates to your life path. Okay. Okay. So you've got Libra with diplomatic, harmony, and balance. Okay. You also have the Moon with emotions, instincts, and subconscious. Interesting. I like the deep connection. The Moon's just very like dreamy but reflective. So this is your mandala. Really interesting. I like the feathered kind of transparent pattern on the outside. So this is number 2. I'm just going to read this to you before I get into any other cards. So, yeah, okay, makes sense. Okay, look at this. I was talking about dreamy. Nurture the dream. Okay, let's go. So it says here, number 2 is to bring a cherished dream to life, one must be willing to let go of the perfect fantasy and allow the stainless vision to become a bit muddy and broken, like a seed cracked open in Mother Earth's richly regenerative soil. This is how things grow from ideas into reality. The spiraling path of fulfillment will likely surprise you again and again. Yet the nourishing essence of your dream can be detected in the most unexpected outer expressions. You do not need to direct or control the way your dreams manifest. Rather, allow yourselves to be guided, inspired, and empowered. Opportunity shall arise, the pathway shall open, the desire in your heart The desires in your heart were lovingly placed there by divine design, so they might come to life through you. Trust this. Your dreams are meant to be. So really touching on, even though I was mucking that up at the end for some reason, but it's really about growth and change, and I guess with nurture is not being afraid of changes and different opinions and ideas coming through with regard to how your dreams are meant to be formed into reality, right? But definitely coming here from the subconscious, you may even want to connect with your subconscious. We'll see what else comes through. This is where the psychic insight comes through. I'll try to interpret it, but I think this is going to come into it like a deeper level, you personally. So we'll see. You've got Maitri with open yourself to others. May all beings be happy and free. That includes you. It says here, kindness echoes into the soul of the universe. It's interesting because it's definitely talking, I think for some people, for whatever reason, there is this like diplomatic balance feeling here, and it's talking about other people as well. So there might be a an opportunity to, I don't know if it's change or reconnect or whether you talk to them again or not. It's about healing that from your mindset or from your vibration, energy, whatever you want to call that. That's just one part of it, and I think the rest is knowing that we are all connected and we are all here to support and help others as well as ourselves. We support and help someone else change their life and turn it around. That's a huge amount of like energy and like fulfillment from our point of view as well. Not that that's the goal, but it's like it's just natural because we help them, they help us. Even if we don't see the help, we're still getting that fulfillment of change, right? And assistance. We've also got Thoth light codes. I think it's Thoth. Can't remember how to pronounce it anymore. Light codes. Light initiation, great teacher awakens, and divine magic. Yeah, you have something to share for sure. Something within you that can come out and support others and help others through their journey. However that looks. Doesn't mean you have to become a teacher, right? But you can always impart knowledge on people, and that seems to be coming through. And also the light has just come out. It's been cloudy all day and it's just coming through, shining a light here. So very interesting. You've also got a frog spirit with renewal. Very cute. I like the little frog here. Frogs are all about transformation, right? They go from tadpoles to frogs. And it's like they lose their tail, they grow legs. You know, it's quite a transformation considering a caterpillar turning to a butterfly will do it all in like enclosed in a confined space, whereas they're just doing it through life. They'll just have legs and a tail at one point because they just keep it going until the full transformation occurs. It's not like a pause. It's definitely a continuation. Okay, so let's have a look. But this feels like it's refreshing for you and maybe even more balancing and harmonious in your life if you've been more 3D and focusing more on your own needs. Now it's starting to pick up with maybe not exactly that, you know what I mean? I'm talking to it as like broadly, but now it's time to like dig deep into your inner world. So you've got the Four of Cups, and I think this is kind of like a blessing almost. Like the Four of Cups isn't always like a great, you know, idea of card. It's like feeling like imbalance, and I think that's where this is coming in, bringing in more balance, but it takes in turn with helping others, being there, supporting others, or whatever your dream is. What is your dream? What is that? Your real dream, like your real dream, not just this. Oh, win lotto, ha 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 ha. No more than that, deeper, go within. And I think this is like the cup that you've been waiting for. These were fine cups, but this is the one that's actually going to bring more fulfillment. And I think it's going to come through in a way that you didn't expect, or you didn't realize that was how fulfillment felt. I thought it was being able to buy whatever I wanted, or this car or whatever. I think it's going to be more soul fulfilling than, you know, physical. Okay, and you've also got the Ten of Swords. This is an interesting kind of depiction of the Ten of Swords, really sad, but it's just showing the cycle of things. Some things have to end so that you can start trying again. And so this bird, whether it knows or not that that's its actual, you know, babies, it's going to either look after them or it's going to abandon it, right? It's going to start something new from its loss, depending on what it wants to do and how it's programmed, let's say. We're very different, obviously, because we're not birds, and our, I can't remember what kind of birds these are, but these birds. So we decide where we go from here after the things that haven't worked. But this is where we get our biggest growth and knowledge, is from the things that have sometimes failed. Technically, we'll see it as failure, but it's just a different type of way of learning things. Okay. Oh, again, the Four of Cups. You're definitely getting the four twice here. Four of Cups, in conjunction kind of thing, like in a line. Archangel Shamuel coming through as well. This is failing to recognize the magical opportunities, missing the point, the distraction of daily life, discontentment or boredom, lost in your own world, wake up. That's where I think this comes through. It has to be true dreams, true reality. It's like very true. But it's interesting because this is a slightly different, and just like this coming down from a cloud, this is being handled or given over by angels. So this might be your guardian angel, or you might be working with the angelic realm, archangels. Shamuel's coming through. Shamuel's great. Great archangels to work with. Super really helpful with like heart chakra. This is personally, and work however you want with any angel, right? But personally, helping balance, align, open up my heart to empathy and support and that kind of thing. And I always try to be as, I guess, open and helpful to the opportunities that bring more, what would I say, more good energy to those around me. That's kind of like how I'd work with Shamuel. And you also have the little hermit, Raziel, coming through. Definitely very hermited kind of archangel. But also being Virgo is my kind of, is my sun sign, so I can't really say too much either. But anyway, it says on here, time spent in peaceful meditation and meaningful solitude, shining your light as an example to others. Yep. I was like, what? Oh yeah. The light initiation, great teacher awakens. And it says here, shine your light as an example to others. See, you can be a teacher or someone inspiring by not actually talking or speaking to someone, just by being you, and shows other people can be themselves. It also says, seek out to become a spiritual mentor and self-discovery. This is definitely about self-discovery as a first and foremost kind of thing. I think you might have had very set ways on what that meant, and you already knew yourself, or maybe you didn't know yourself, or whatever it is. It's just like coming to an understanding. But also, the hermit is all about time spent in peaceful meditation and meaningful solitude. I think meaningful needs to be really highlighted here, because we can always go in within and be like, that's much more nicer. Like with the moon, like, being in our subconscious, being in our kind of like mellow place. But this is about meaningful solitude, because once you've got the answer and you know what your light is, it's time to start shining it in the areas of your life that you want to shift, being who you are at an authentic level, whatever that means and looks like to you. This is a deep connection, so it's like deep within. It may be you connecting with your own soul, heart, whatever you want to call it, again, in a more self-honoring way, I want to say. But really nice reading. I think I'll leave it there. Hopefully this has helped you in some sense. These fours are not coming through without purpose, and this is where the renewal is. It may be visualizing or seeing your current situation in a different light and being like, okay, I was worried about this for the last 10 years. None of that was actually true. Why am I worrying about something that it's not even in my reality, hasn't been there for 10 years, but I'm still worrying about it could happen, whatever it is. We do that because we're interesting creatures, for sure. But anyway, hopefully that's helped you, and if you've enjoyed, give me a thumbs up. Otherwise, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading.